let's go back to nonfiction for a bit and start with the best book written about Vietnam, according to many people. This is Dispatches by Michael Herr, and it's a classic of new journalism, which means that it's not exactly a nonfiction. Michael Herr said it would disappoint people when he told them, but some of the lines would be moved from character to character, some characters are composites. Sometimes he acted like he was in a situation where he wasn't, but he had heard about it. And he said it's not that much about the journalism of being true. It was true because he had spent 2 years there embedded with the troops. It got into his head so much that he could write a book this magnificent. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible, and it's a great reminder in these days of war how not glorious war is. Sometimes it has to be done. In this case, it wasn't. But it's never pretty. And anyone who thinks war is pretty is trying to sell you something, usually more war or arms. This book was so hard for Michael Herr. He came home from being there, and he immediately had a nervous breakdown. And for 5 years, he wrote nothing. And so this book only came out in 1977. 7 years after he left the country. So all of that backstory being said, the reason this is worth reading is because it's so engrossing. It's so gripping. The reason it's a classic of new journalism is his ability to splice up these dialogues, to jump all over the place in the plot, to go from different places. It is much more of an impressionist painter's kind of take on a scene. It's the feeling behind it. That's why Vietnam vets vouched for this book and said this book felt true, even if every detail might not be true. And so it's less the photograph realistic take on something, it's the feeling of it. And he really gets in the feeling of what a war like that felt like. So that's why I would recommend Dispatches by Michael Herr.